So we had such a good review on the smaller leveling rake, we decided to go with the larger one to show you what this one looks like. Because sometimes you're going to need a larger rake to do larger areas. The larger the rake, the better the flattening. So if you're looking out to level your lawn, there's two rakes that I use. I use a smaller one and this larger one. So let's open this up and check it out. I'm going to have a description of it, of what this is. So the last one worked out pretty good. Let's see. Obviously, this one's a little different this time, because if you notice, this one's all assembled already, see? So the whole thing comes assembled, really simple. You open this up, and there's one pipe that's out here. I don't know why that is. So they give you pretty good instructions. I'm gonna need, look at that, it's in German, on the other side. Okay, it's almost the same as the last one we did. So it's got this type of connectors with these bushings. I found out this wasn't that bad. At first, when I first seen it, I was like panicking, because it's like anything with a bushing and a pipe, it's gonna be pretty like shaky, right? But it wasn't too bad, so let's check it out. So they wrap it up pretty good, it's not too bad. This is gonna be a lot faster putting it together, right? Because there's not, the last one came in a whole bunch of parts. The box was like this big, I panicked. So this one's way better. This is probably a lot stronger. Alright, so let's take a peek at the welds.
Actually, it looks nicer. More well built.
Pretty good. I'm gonna take a peek. Oh, you know what I noticed right out of the gate? Right out of the gate. But these pipes are solid and they're longer because the box is longer, right? So this one's gonna be a little bit better. So the pipe. Alright.
It's got a nice handle.
See how much it's a lot better, right? There's a lot less pipes. The last one had a whole bunch of pipes. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Try to neaten this up. So there's a bunch, it's wrapped up nice, there's nothing really scratched up. So if you're real picky about how your tools come painted and everything, this is pretty good. They give you every tool you need and every bolt you need right here. So the only thing you possibly would need is a knife to open it. They give you the instructions. They give you the nuts, the wrench. It's simple. So right out of the gate, this one's a little bit better, right? So you notice these are straight. See how these are solid? I don't know if this is going to help or hurt. We're going to check it when we level. When you pull it back and forth, these don't catch any soil. So we're going to see how that slides. Might make it actually better. So if you see, this is a connector to put these two pipes together. You see the connectors here? See these connectors on?
Yeah.
It's like a bushing. Look. So you're going to get these two short pipes. One goes there to the first pipe. One goes to the second pipe. So this is, you got to kind of wiggle it in, push it in, don't hurt your hands. It's very tight. Then you push this button, you get it, and you keep twisting until it pops. Same thing with this one. Now this is a really long pipe, and I would keep it long. I would keep it long because it makes it much easier to use later when you're doing leveling. So see, so it's very strong. This is not flat. This is good. Okay, this part right here is a little short, but I can deal with that. You push it in, you push it, and then rotate it until it pops. Ready? See, there you go. Same thing on this one. Now, if you don't want to store a really long pipe in your garage for any reason, these do come back apart. All you do is push in the button and do the reverse, see? So you can store it away if you have to. This is a good design. I like this design. The last time on the smaller rake, it was a little less designed. It was a little designed with more of these pipes, and they were like all short, and I thought it was going to be flimsy, but it wasn't. So these are stainless steel, which is good, so they won't rust. They got real lock nuts with Teflon, so that won't rust. So I'm going to take this apart just to get the bolts in. So I push the button and I pull it apart. I'm gonna put the handle over here for a minute. Make it easy on myself. So this doesn't have a direction because everything's pretty much straight. Put this in there. It's pretty simple. Just putting the bolts through. This is all this is. Bolts through. I'm gonna put the nuts on the inside. They seem to give you one extra bolt in case you drop it, I guess. So, good rule of thumb is always put in all the bolts loose before you try to tighten anything. Real simple. I mean, mostly everybody's gonna know how to put this together. I'm just trying to give an idea so you know before you buy it. So when you tighten these up, don't tighten them up all the way tight because you need a little bit of action. So just tighten them so it feels like a little bit of drag. See, a little drag. You don't want that super tight because you need it to kind of flip around so it follows. Very simple. I'm using their cheesy wrench, but it works. It's just so see this? So these nuts aren't going to fall off because they got the Teflon in them. So everything's good. All right, we're done. So that's the assembly of this. This is pretty simple. They give you an extra, they give you the tools and the extra bolt and washer in case you lose it. And here you go. Now you could take off this either like we did before, or you could do it like this and just turn a little bit. Yeah, look at that. So this is pretty good. So there you go. Now you see the twist this way and this way. Over time that might wear out a little bit. See how those pins are kind of holding? But really you don't, you're pushing, see how they twist a little bit? That might wear out a little. But you know what? You're pushing mostly in and out on this, and I'll show you a little demonstration in a minute. We'll be right there. Let's get out on the lawn. So let's check it out. So there's two different rakes here. One's for one reason and one's for another reason. But let me show you. This model is 45 inches. And this model is my old model. It's 30 inches. So the difference between the two, I would use this one mainly for patching little holes. Like, see we pulled the weed here? Take a look. See we pulled the weed here and there's a hole here? So this becomes a divot. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the difference between what you use this for and what you use this for. Now look at the gap here. See under here? See my hand? See it hits here, hon?
Yeah.
And it hits here. So if we wanted to level this area, make it more flat, this would be the kind of rake you would use. You wouldn't use a short rake because you wouldn't get a nice blend. So you'd use a wide. By the way, this is made mainly for short lawns, very short lawns. So if you're going to do this on a long lawn type, you're going to have to mow it pretty low. Like look, see how it slides? It's tough. Without sand there, it's kind of tough. But you see, look at the gap. See that?
Yeah.
And let me show you the gap. So there's a gap here that's over an inch. So a 1 inch gap would need, you can go sand up to about a 1 inch. But I'm going to do a blend mixture because I don't want to kill the lawn. But this is a good time. Early spring or growing season, even if you're growing it in the summer, is a good time to do it. As long as you're growing the lawn and the blades come through the sand or the medium, whatever you use. We're going to do a 50-50 mix if it's over an inch. I'm going to show you a 50-50 mix today because we're not going to use straight sand. If you have less than an inch, I would use straight sand because it slides beautiful. So this would be great for like one hole, right? So this is great for like having it around, just putting it over one hole.
A small area.
Yeah, a little small area. Yeah. So you would do that and put that sand down. So let's go mix up a little bit of sand and I'll show you how these rakes work. So the natural play sand, this natural play sand is easy to get. Just the reason why I like this is it actually says it right on it. See, great for leveling or top dressing lawns. But I think I picked this up in Lowe's.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was picked up in Lowe's. This doesn't go very far, I can tell you right now. If you're gonna do a lot of leveling, you're gonna need a lot of topsoil and a lot of sand. So we're gonna do a 50-50 mix. Not really a 50-50 mix, but we're gonna use the topsoil. This topsoil is kind of dirty and messy. If you have a favorite topsoil, you could switch it out because this is a mess, but I'm gonna show you. So what I'm saying is you get a lot of sticks. See the sticks in this? See this? This is like just junk. So if you can get better topsoil in this, it actually works better. But I want to show you how the rake works today. So we're going to do a 50-50, probably 50-50 like this. Anything over an inch, for sure. So it looks like a lot, right? It looks like it's going to be a lot. Watch how it disappears in the lawn. You're going to take this and mix this together. Or you could use anything to mix it up. Just mix it up. It's not critical. I would actually use almost all sand if I could. But I'm going to go a little bit deep side. So to understand the difference, why we use sand and not all topsoil. If you use topsoil and level it out, it's gonna shrink. It's gonna decay into the lawn. So the sand doesn't go away. The topsoil does. The topsoil will eventually shrink. So if you want a real level, don't use straight topsoil unless it's like the first time you're doing the whole seeding and everything. We're going to be doing this. We're going to go out in the sun in a second. And we're going to go in the sun and let this dry a little. Because I can tell you right now, dry sand is a lot easier than wet sand to do this. So we're going to bring it out to the front lawn. Let's bring it out. I need it. So normally, you would think this is deadly on a lawn that's almost done, right? It's not. You're gonna let this sit in the sun a little bit. See how it looks like it's not too much of a, it's not too bad, see? But you're gonna get a couple lumps. See that? That's not gonna level. So you're gonna have to make sure you get good topsoil. We're gonna show you how to do this for now with this, and I'm gonna pick out the real big pieces, but this is not the best.
I don't think it looks terrible.
No. See, these pieces like that, yeah. You want them out, right? We'll put them to the side. But so your topsoil quality is a lot to do with it. See, a couple small pieces isn't going to matter, and I'll show you. It's going to sink right into the lawn. You're going to need a broom, shovel, and one of these two. So the reason why I think these units are best, right, is, I mean, they're going to last for the jobs you're going to do. How many jobs are you going to actually flatten your lawn? Not that many, right? This will last probably a lifetime, and it's inexpensive, and it does the job. You could probably buy a high-end name brand if you really want to, if you're going to be leveling for a living or you're a landscaper or something. But for this type of leveling, and you're going to use it only for your house, I would go with this type of brand. We'll put the brand and the make and the size in the description. So there's a smaller one and there's a larger one. Let me show you. What I would do, I'll put this to the side. So right there, you see that spot right there? Take the sand and you throw it. And it looks crazy. And take a peek how it looks, right? Right? Putting it on a perfectly good lawn. So don't worry about destroying your lawn. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna show you. So you see how I'm starting to level it? Now watch this. Now you see this? What? It probably won't even touch. See? See the spot?
Oh yeah.
See the spot that's bad? So the reason why the larger rake's better, and you pull it towards you, bring it to the spot, keep doing that. Now there's a rut there, right? I wouldn't suggest doing this all at once, or you're gonna ruin your lawn. Let's just spread it out. This is where the pipe was put in, and you take it out, see? Now the trick, there's a big trick here. You can't have your blades or your grass underneath the level. Now you see that? Now what I would do Now watch this. Now lightly, not putting no pressure, lightly pull the, see the grass coming up? Now sand is way better for this. If you went straight sand, it would be easier because the sand would go down. So I'm going to be fighting a little of this over the next couple days with, see the, now even though I'm brushing this back and forth, none of it's missing, right? I didn't pull any dirt out of there. It's the same amount. So this is how I would level up slow with this, and I wouldn't do a lot. You could even put a little more down. Now these things will get you crazy because it's not a good topsoil. But I can tell you, if you sifted it out, you can get all that out before you do this, or use a Landsy. This won't get on the lawn. So this is a process. So if you go like this, you can check the level here, see? That's the little rake. Now watch, the little rake and the larger rake, because it spans a little more of a distance, will show you more error. See the error? See the little bit here? We have more to go. So this is an ongoing process. I'm not going to rush this. This is going to be a little bit at a time because I don't want to kill my lawn. But look how easy this slides. And the sand makes it even slide better. So you see this?
Yeah, pushes very easily.
Look, it's scooping up all the wood
chips.
See? You drag backwards, it's taking all the wood chunks out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would use a better topsoil. I don't want to kill my lawn. See the blades? And you would think. So the cool thing is we're not taking out any material when I brush this. So you know the soil's got to be more level. The little one has its purpose, right? So I have weed here. Not going to take it out now, but we pulled out a piece of POA here, and it's really still there a little bit. But let me show you something. See that spot right there? So you do that, throw it right down like that. You take the little rake instead of the big one, and you go over the hole. So there's a hole right there. We know it, right? We've seen it. You go right over the hole. And that levels it right out. So we're just trying to show you the rakes. The topsoil next time. Be a little bit more sand, I think. So the 50-50 works good on a lawn you don't want to kill. And you take it like this, throw it down. There's a lot of holes over here, so I'll show you. So we covered the hole, but I want to show you what happened, the difference between the hole and the larger rake. Watch. So the hole, this will do a hole, right? But like from here to here. But look, see the spot? See the only spot? See the spot it's not pulling out? That means it was not level there. So that's a spot that really needed to be leveled. The whole lawn needs to be leveled, really. But this is what you do, a little bit at a time. Then you get the spot out. And as soon as the spot feels like it's good, you go like this. You leave the spot like that. And you're going to think you're taking it all out, but you're not. You need to find the grass. You need to get the grass up. Now if you did this with sand, total sand here, it would be a lot easier. You could use total sand, anything under an inch. But look, see what's going on?
Yeah, it looks really good. Now
See?
It's gone.
Now don't forget, there was a total spot here with no grass at all, so I'm not worried about that as much. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to work on that. And I'm going to let this grow in. By next week, it really doesn't look that bad from the street.
No, not at all.
So if you take it a little bit at a time, right? And you fluff up the lawn a little, they'll just see a little haze. this won't be like a big divot. And as it grows in, if you keep doing this over time, especially with the two different rakes, you know, one for small spots, one for large thick spots where you want to take out a whole divot. Like we have divots that go down. The larger rake is good for that. If you see side by side, what I don't like as much about this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. This one, 1, 2. It's a little stronger. I like both of them. They both have their own job. But this is the way. This is the kit I would get. A broom, shovel, the Gorilla cart, 50-50 sand, and you're on a good path to getting the job flat and done. And sooner or later, the real mow will cut flatter and flatter. Right now, I didn't do hardly any leveling, and it looks good because I take my divots out as I get them. I use the little one, so this is light enough to carry out of the shed almost every day. You can keep a 5-pound bucket of sand, and when you pull weeds naturally, you could throw a little bit of sand, a little bit of topsoil in there, flatten it out real quick, brush it up, and it will, if you have bluegrass or anything that creeps or moves, it should seal up in no time. I don't see any holes here. We pull all the time. I don't see any holes, which is really good. All right, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. All this stuff will be in the description if you're interested. Please give me a like if you like the review. This is great. Look, it's got solid bars. If you could adjust the tilt, you know, those bolts you could adjust, make them a little tighter if you have a lot of flip overs when you're dragging it back and forth. A lot of times you could buy a real high-end one. They have a hydraulic from here to here. It costs a couple $100. I don't think it's worth it. I think this is a much better product for the money. And I noticed also, from the small one to the large one, look at the better welds you're getting. A lot better welds. I don't know why, but smaller one, the welds are a little bit funky, but they're not gonna break. It's gonna last. All right, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.